Welcome, everybody, and thank you for joining us today for our PD Coordinators webinar. Today's date is October 8th, 2020. I will be your moderator, and I'm accompanied by Dr. Olga Escamilla, as well as the rest of the fabulous TCAL team. And so we have lots to share today, beginning with this activity that Dr. Escamilla is going to lead for us.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. And I just want to know, before we get started with our formal meeting, on a scale of Al Bundy, how are you today? So take a good look. Oh, somebody's already a 7. Randy's a 7. Uh-oh, Randy, we hope that you leave here in maybe like a 2 or a 3. Tiffany Lee's a 3. Thank you, Tiffany Lee. So think about it. 9, 9, 9. Run over. Who is a 9? Lorraine. Love it. We have a lot of 3s. Good. I don't know if that's good. Are you overly excited? Marie is a 5. Oh, yes. 7. We have 7s. We have 1. Uh-oh. 8. We have some 3s. Let's see. 4, 9, 4, 8. Just had a big lunch. Uh-oh. 8.
Tiffany Lee says she's going to change hers.
Uh-oh. What is it, Tiffany Lee?
She said, is 3 excited feeling? Then I'll change my answer to 7, 8, or 9.
Uh-oh. Oh, Tiffany Lee, you're always a 3. Some people are talking about food. All right. Well, let's go ahead and, oh, Denise, you're a 7. Denise is a 7. Okay, Denise. Well, hopefully after today's meeting, you're going to be kind of like 3, excited, or 6, ready to rock, well, that looks like ready to fight, but okay. A 3 or 6.
No, I think
I
it's like a 6 is kind of like ready to go. Like, I got this. That's the way I interpret it.
Okay. I like 3.
Okay, that's a really neat activity. So thank you, Dr. Escamilla. And for today's agenda, we have lots to cover. Of course, we're going to be covering upcoming conferences and statewide events. We're going to inform you of some of the monthly webinar series and some of the presenters and topics we'll be featuring, as well as trainer webinars that are coming up. Then at the second half hour, we're going to be sharing some of the PD portal announcements, as well as what's coming up in Teams. And at the very end, we are going to close with a big hurrah, giving the mic to you and finding out what it is that you would like to learn. And it's our PD coordinator time. So let's go ahead and continue. And we're going to start off with the conferences and statewide events. And up first, we have Ms. Paula Bauer.
Howdy. I just wanted to share Literacy Texas is having a regional symposium in a couple of weekends. It's a collaboration between 2 Dallas-Fort Worth organizations, the Tarrant Literacy Coalition and Literacy Connexus. It'll be on Friday, the 23rd of October and Saturday, the 24th. And it'll have some great PD topics. Our very own Ashley Winkle will be talking about digital literacy. They'll have workforce integration, high school equivalency subjects, ESL, citizenship, and a whole lot more. Great way to get free PD credit. All you have to do is register. The link's provided here. And if someone will just put that in the chat pod, you'll have that to take home with you. And then the Literacy Texas will be sponsoring about 5 or 6 more literacy symposiums. And that will be in spring 2021, but we don't have dates for those yet. And I'll share those when the dates come about. And then I have one more announcement, the TEX TESOL 3, which is the regional affiliation for the Austin-Waco area of Central Texas TESOL. They're having their virtual fall mini conference on Saturday, the 24th. It is a free event as well, and I have 2 great speakers. And if you'll share this with your teachers, all they have to do is register, and this is the registration link. We'll put that in the chat pod for you as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula. And so now we have some of the TELTEX Academy features, and we have Krista.
Hi. So we, the TELTEX Academy we're finally getting to roll this out, and we are having an event on October 26th and October 27th, and it is Amp Up Your ESL Instruction. So there's a total of 4 courses plus 1 PD Portal online course that we would like people to take as a prerequisite. It is not mandatory to do that, but it just helps get you set up for the rest of the sessions. So on Monday, we have Introduction to Technology Apps for the ESL Classroom with Liz Moya, Using Rubrics in the ESL Classroom with Wayne Crandall. And on Tuesday, we have the Google Classroom for ESL Learners with Liz Moya. And then I will be presenting Integrating Math into ESL. If you have any teachers that do all of these sessions, you can get 13 total hours of professional development and literacy. You do not have to do all of them. You can just choose 1 or 2 or whichever ones that you want. But it's going to be a really good deal, really good thing. And this is, like I said, this is our rollout event, and then we hope to have these available for you to select for your programs to have come, and we can do these for your programs individually as well. So if you have any questions, let me know. The registration is open in the portal.
That sounds exciting. Thank you, Krista. And now we have Beth.
Thank you, Liz. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for being here. I just want to highlight a couple of webinars that we have coming up. Tomorrow at 9:30, we're going to be having a Math Assistance Call Center webinar with Chandra Joshi from Student Nest. This is kind of a revamping and relaunching that call center, and we really encourage you to share the message widely. We'd love to have a completely full room getting all the information about this new initiative. And I think Lori Slayton is on the call. Lori, is there anything you'd like to say about this one?
Hey, hi everyone. Yes, I'm here. I'm excited. I was just finishing some slides for the Math Assistance Call Center, which we lovingly call the MAC. And yes, it's a reboot of the Distance Learning Call Center with some major modifications. It'll just be math this time. And you will have to have your team's participant ID in order to participate. So just 2 major changes, but we hope you'll come and listen to the webinar. We scheduled an hour and a half. I think we're only going to need about an hour, but we wanted to pad some time in there for you all to get some work done when we get through, right? So we've got from 9:30 to 11. We're hoping for lots of questions, and I hope we'll see you then tomorrow. Thank you.
And Lori, it does look like we have a question from Randy. Last time they had jump drives with all the info that we could show to classes. Will there be something similar?
What a great idea. No, I didn't know that was done last time. They started last time in 2016, and I was not very involved with that project at the time, but we can certainly do something like that. We're doing this first webinar. We're planning to do a secondary webinar, probably the 1st or 2nd week of November, just to address any questions for people that weren't on for tomorrow. And we're hoping to open, we will open on the 15th for business. So, but jump drives is a great idea, Randy. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Lori. And just to let you know that webinar is not for PD credit. Okay, so it is informational only. And then the next one is a Workforce Integration Initiative Grant Expenditures webinar, which is going to be on the 21st at 11. And Maria Mara with TWC is going to be leading that webinar, talking about the expenditures for this additional monies that were awarded for the workforce integration. So again, share this widely, informational only, no PD credit, but we encourage you to have folks in your program sign up for that.
Beth, and we had a question. Will the process for contact hours be discussed? So I think it was based on the previous slide.
Yes, the process for contact hours is a little bit easier than it was last time. Mahalia and I really went through it and tried to simplify it as much as possible, but we will be discussing that in the webinar, yes.
Thank you, Lori. And we're going to go ahead and continue. And Liz, you're up.
Absolutely. Well, okay. So we did have to reschedule the Internationally Trained Professionals English Language Learner webinar that was scheduled last week, but we have a new date, and it is up on Thursday, October 22nd, and that's from 1 to 2:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Registration will be available very soon, either today or tomorrow. So you can go ahead and register. And if you were already registered for the first date, the good news is you will need to register for the second one. I know, see, things to look forward to. So we hope to see you there. And this is going to be our last hurrah on this project. So we want to share this announcement widely with your programs and your team leads so that we could see you at that webinar, please.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for this? Now we do have, Lori, we do have another question before we move to the monthly webinar series announcements. There is a question. Anne Marie said, Lori, they also had flyers for the classrooms. Will they have those?
Yes, in fact, I have 2 flyers, one in English, one in Spanish right now, that we're using that will be available during the webinar. We've sent those out to directors, just letting them know that this was coming. But the forms that Chandra Joshi and I have settled on are a little bit different than they were last time. But yes, we'll have flyers available, as well as I really like the jump stick idea.
Okay, thank you so much. And we're going to go ahead and continue with the monthly webinar series, and we're going to get started with Manager Monday with Liz.
Yes, and so coming up on October 19th, we do have our workplace wellness with Elena Madrid. She's going to be talking about ways that you can identify and develop strategies for a more healthy lifestyle in the workplace. So that registration is available in the PD portal. And then for November, we do have our presenter Diana Contreras from Dollar General. She's going to be talking about the employer perspective on internships. I'm really excited about this webinar. She presented this in the summer for the TWC advisory committee meeting, and it was wonderful. So that's coming up November 9th, and the registration will be up soon. And then, of course, we have our follow-up webinar dates that you can go ahead and schedule and pencil in your calendars. So that's what I wanted to share about those Manager Monday webinars. Thank you.
Okay, then we'll have Krista.
Okay, back again. So our Teacher Tuesday is coming up this October 13th, next Tuesday from 12 to 1 o'clock. Cynthia Peters from World Ed will be holding an election during a pandemic. And so we hope you join us for that. But registration is in the portal.
Thank you, Krista. So we'll go ahead and move on to Workforce Wednesday, and we have 3 months left, October 21st, November 18th, and December 16th left for our 2020 dates. I just wanted to share those again. So if you haven't marked your calendar, there you are. They're there. These sessions are available in the PD portal, and our first session this month, October 21st, is Vis-a-Vis Visas and Citizenship, Making Sense of U.S. Immigration Documents and Processes. And we have Jennifer Juarez with Northside ISD, and they presented this at herself and Mr. Antuna. They presented this at Taylor, but we wanted to have them do this for anyone who was not able to share. It's a lot of great information to gain for our students. So join us for that. Then we also have our November session where we have Victoria Hinojosa and Jasmine Grabowski. They're going to be talking about social media and teaching about its impact to our students. So that's really important for when our students are looking for a job and how their presence on social media will impact them. And then in December, on December 16th, we have Victoria and Jasmine again. And they're going to be talking about teaching students how to navigate the new work in Texas. So join us for Workforce Wednesday. And I just wanted to share that we have our 2021 dates set up already for Workforce Wednesday. And there they are. But what I wanted to do is share them. So I've placed them in the chat for you. That's the new flyer. So you don't have to write them down really quickly. They're already available for you on there. So we'll go ahead and continue with Anne Marie.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to update you on the next couple months of Tech and Tell webinars. And we do have a gentleman by the name of Major Jones coming back on October 30th. Major Jones is an educational specialist with TWC, quite engaging individual. He presented for us last week. And okay, so I need to be a little louder. How is this, Olga? Better?
No, you're kind of sound far away.
Okay, is that better now?
Yes.
Okay, it was my mic.
There you go.
Sorry, everybody. All right, so let me start over again. All right, so we have LMCI, Texas Auto Codes, and Texas Skills to Work, which is part of the Labor Market and Career Information website under TWC. And we had a new presenter that presented last week by the name of Mr. Major Jones, and he's an educational specialist with TWC. And Mr. Jones will be back to dig deeper into several of the tools available on the LMCI website. So we're going to talk about Texas Auto Codes, Texas Skills to Work, and also Texas Reality Check. So if you had teachers tune in last week, they got an overview of all the different tools. Next week, or actually at the end of October, on October 30th, Mr. Jones will dig into just several of the tools that are really important to our students. Okay, next slide. Now in November, we will have Marie Covert from Odessa College, and I believe another colleague will be joining her as well to talk about live binders. And we actually will just have one Tech and Tell webinar on November 13th. So we're so excited to have Marie coming to us from Odessa. I'm so excited because she loves live binders. And look for PD portal registration soon. Yes, and Dr. Charity Embley will be co-presenting with her, and more details to come. And like I said, registration will be hopefully available soon. So thank you so much, Marie. And upcoming in December and January, we will have quizzes, which we've done before, but we want to update that because there's been a lot of changes. And then excited about the January 2021 Tech and Tell, and we will be discussing Quill with a presenter. And Quill is a free writing digital tool for teachers. And so look forward to that in January. And I should hopefully have other topics coming out soon, going into the next year. Okay. So this is something a little different that I wanted to share with everybody, because I think it really gives you a snapshot as PD coordinators the tech and tells that are available right now in the PD portal, especially when we talk about tech tools. And so we have a variety, and some of them are low tech. And what I mean by that, it's just possibly a website. For example, we have Common Lit, which is a website. So that would be considered a low tech tool for teachers. And also PBS Learning Media is another one that's not got a lot of heavy tech or digital literacy skills needed. But then we have other Tech and Tell webinars available in the PD portal that range a little bit more on the high-tech side, or there is more parts to it. So we have Edpuzzle, Plickers, WhatsApp, and also HyperDoc. So this is a good place to kind of see all the different Tech and Tells that you could decide to assign to your teachers. And I encourage you to think of like a package deal possibly. What are some of the Tech and Tells that you can assign to your teachers and possibly get 3 hours instead of just 1 hour? So I wanted to show you what is available right now. And then we also have the recent learning management Tech and Tells that are available and will be coming out on course sites and also Canvas. So I wanted to share that with you. So I hope that's helpful. And if you're interested in the flyer, I can send that to you as well. Just email me and I can send you the flyer. But those are available now. Thank you, Olga. Next slide. All right, now this is coming from all of the webinar hosts, the producers, which would be Olga, Krista, Liz, and myself. So we are calling all talent, and we are always looking for topics and presenters. So on behalf of the webinar team, I know we work very hard to bring you what you need in the field, whether it's for Manager Monday, Teacher Tuesday, Workforce Wednesday, or Tech and Tell. So reach out to us. We've consolidated this into one slide. So reach out to us if you are interested on whichever topic you feel that you would like to present. So thank you, Olga.
Thank you so much, Anne Marie. So at this time, before we move on, are there any questions? So thank you, Liz. And Liz has placed everybody's email address in the chat. We've also placed the Workforce Wednesday webinar flyer with the 2021 dates. And Paula mentioned earlier the Text TESOL 3 conference. We've also placed that informational flyer in the chat. So if you want to pick those up from there, they're in there for you to download. So any questions so far?
I don't see anything in the chat.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and continue. No, Denise says no. So we're going to go ahead and move on. So we're going to go ahead and move to the assessments and training. And let's get started with Tracy.
Good afternoon, everyone. So get ready for registration. I like my little graphic there. He's really cute. Sorry, it turned out cute. We're going to offer just a statewide virtual Texas-style TABE 1112 online training November 10th from 5 to 8:30 p.m. And so if you've got a couple of people in your program that just need this training, like you hired someone new recently, or you're preparing people for progress testing or baseline again in January, please register for them for this event when it's available. Stay tuned for that. Should be, I'll send a list or announcement out probably Monday for this. And we just ask again that if you're a small program, like 2 persons per training, and large consortiums limit to, to 5. And so if you're a large consortium, the other thing I need to ask, we have a lot of small PD coordinators, or not small, PD coordinators in sub-provider programs and consortiums, and I need for you to contact the PD coordinator of the consortium so that your consortium decides which 5 could participate. If if there needs to be more put on a waiting list, we can do that. But we just want to give room for programs around the state to have a chance to get in on this training. When a participant is finished with this training, they will be a test administrator for TABE Online and can administer the test to students. The other thing I want to mention about this, we are going to have each participant attend a tech check the day before. And the reason we do this, they don't get PD credit for the tech check, but we have found this is really helpful when we do a training that's longer than an hour basically or two, because with these online trainings, we need to get the participant, make sure they have a email for DRC because we get them into the training environment. We send them materials usually via email, and that's sometimes in limbo, but we get with them the day before and make sure they have access to the materials, that they will have their email ready and available for getting into the training environment for DRC and those kinds of things. So we have found it's best to troubleshoot on the front end, then do it and take content time on the day of the training. So stay tuned for that registration announcement. And so, yes,
There's a couple of comments or questions. Yes, this is a TOT for TABE, not just how to do TABE,
No,
correct?
it is not a TOT. This is just a online training for test administrators. So this is a little different. Y'all are used to me announcing TOTs, so yeah, that could be a lot confusing. TWC had asked us this year, because we've got so much going on with the COVID thing and so much is going on virtually, and some programs are not hiring like they usually are. We're just trying to help your local program capacity with training test administrators. So does it say TOT? It sure does.
Yes, it sure does.
Oh my gosh.
Our apologies.
That's my fault, my bad. That's what happens when you're doing this at 10 o'clock last night. So I am sorry, and it may say that on the next slide too. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Yes, so it's a test to see who's listening. That was my fault. And I'm so used to doing TOT, so that's true. Okay, so you're right, not a TOT.
Before we move to the next slide, it says, does this training focus only the DRC portal, or does it focus also the actual test and proctoring like the training from the past?
Okay, so we have, in our state, we've created our own Texas-style online training. It is not connected with the DRC training. In fact, Mike Johnson knows that we've created this because we needed something more practical that will teach someone how to use the online training portal to test a student, whether it's in a computer lab, and that's the first start. You have to become a test administrator before you can do remote testing. So this is just becoming a test administrator to administer TABE 11 and 12 online. So it's better than the DRC one. I'm going to just say that because the DRC one is very general. This one, it goes through step by step, and we get the test administrators into a training environment that DRC created for Texas. So test administrators can practice how to add a student, how to pull a report, how to do a test ticket. We actually go through all of those things. So ours is very practical and hands-on.
Okay, Tracy, there's a question. Is this a refresher because it's not the 6 hours?
No, it's not a refresher. Okay, we had done the Texas-style TABE paper-based was 6 hours because it needed to be 6 hours. It's a lot of learning to score the TABE paper-based. This is strictly for online. So it is 3 hours. Actually, it's 3.5. Sorry, I can see the time. I'm sorry. It's 3.5 hours. So it's the time frame is different, but that's TWC has approved this, and they're good with the 3.5 hours.
Okay.
So,
Next question. Do they email you the names of the people they want to assign?
No, we're going to open it up and let PD coordinators do it. I'm just going to trust everybody to not, to kind of follow my guidelines there at the bottom, please, so that everyone around the state has a chance to enroll someone.
So it will be open in the PD portal for PD coordinators to assign
It will.
individuals. Okay.
It will. Yes, good questions, and thank you
Yes,
for
very
them.
good. Thank you. And Denise says the little phone guy got you distracted. He's
It
cute.
did,
And
because
then,
he's dancing around.
and then Tiffany says it's a good training. She had to learn from a manual,
Uh-huh.
but the visual training is good too. So thank
Yeah.
you for that, Tiffany.
Yes, thanks.
Okay.
Okay, so next slide, which is kind of, sort of the same thing. It's got, I do have TOT there.
Wait,
Sorry.
there's one more.
Okay,
So before we go here, we're going to
sure.
go. So Crystal Watson says, I only ask what the training focuses on because our proctors do not look up reports, create student sessions, pretty much anything on DRC. They just proctor the test.
Well, it does go through a little bit of how to look up reports, how to create student sessions and that kind of thing, because that's what we feel was needed to make a complete training. And we feel like I don't think it hurts to learn those things, because at some point in time, they might need to know how to do that, or can help someone else do that. I don't know. Yeah, I see what you're saying, and we've had that comment before about this one. We didn't tailor it just to someone who proctors just the test. We kind of explained about TABE online and how to do all kinds of fun stuff. Not fun stuff, but cool stuff. Okay.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and move to the next one.
Okay, and there was
Thank
a
you.
question I saw. I'm sorry.
So
about
just to clarify,
Lupe's question back. So at the hour difference, what is indicated on the assessment guide? Will there be issues? No, actually, that's a good question, Lupe. On the website, in the assessment guide, it takes you to a chart of TDBC approved assessment trainings. That chart doesn't actually have a time frame on the chart, I don't believe, right now. And so that chart will be changing as things change. I think we've got to add this training to that chart, actually, after TDBC approves what we sent to them. But no, it's not, there aren't issues, because this is fine with them. We approved them. They approved it, so. And I will say this, it's kind of a basic 3-hour training. We added another 30 minutes because when you do something virtually, we just need more time. Well, that's what we found. So 3.5 hours, it should be a minimum of 3, so 3.5 hours. A larger program may want to add a little more time to have more practice time, that kind of thing. So, okay.
okay, and Lorraine says, and I think this might have been answered below by Liz, it says, so just to clarify, because I know you stated this at least 5 times already, the TABE 1112 is to become a certified online TABE test administrator, right? Is that correct? Test administrator, yes.
Yes.
Okay, and then Tiffany says, our teachers only look up reports, but not the sessions. And then Lupe says, thank you. We just want to make sure we are in compliance for internal monitoring. Thank you, Lupe. And then Tiffany says, Tiffany Lee, do the other 4 ladies in the office need to take the TABE 1112 online training to be certified or be legal?
So if the ladies, are they just looking up reports? I'm not sure.
Or she says, or since I did it, do they have to do it?
No, they don't. They don't look up. They look up reports, make the sessions, do everything as the training is.
So they're just setting up the trainings. They're not proctoring the trainings.
No, they set up. I set up the sessions,
Right.
and then they put the students in the sessions. They
In
look
them.
up reports. They do all of that. Yes.
I wouldn't think so, unless Lori wants to chime in here. I wouldn't think so, because this is more geared to how do you proctor a test? How do you being a test administrator? And so if you're looking up reports and doing some I guess, office type things with that, I would not think you would need it. Now, Tiffany, didn't you come to the TOT?
Yes, I did.
So you could
Yeah.
train them if you
Right.
needed to.
Yeah, the
But
TOT is the same, kind of like the same thing we all do here in the
yeah,
office. So I was wondering if they need to come to this training.
well, I wouldn't, I would say no.
Okay.
Because you could train them.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
We're kind of trying to do this for people that may not have a trainer. Maybe just they hired one
Okay,
or two new
so-
people. I would really
So it's kind of like
say,
a tier 1 to train
yeah,
others. Okay.
yes, exactly. So
Got
this
it.
is a good point, Tiffany.
Okay.
We're kind of doing a tier 1, which we don't usually do. But again, we're trying to target people that maybe you hired a couple of new teachers, or you're reorganizing staff
Mhm.
because it's taking so much staff to do remote testing. So, maybe they need this training to be the test administrator. And then, of course, you do remote testing. You have to go to the online
Mhm.
on-demand training there. But so, yeah, that's kind of why we're trying to do this. But these are great
Okay.
questions.
Okay. Thank you.
And Robin Booth is my backup girl. So she is, putting something in the chat that's
She
important.
placed the chart link
Yes,
on
she
page
did.
57 of the assessment guide in the chat. And also, I think Marie had asked a question and Robin answered it.
Uh-huh.
So did you want me to read that, or I think...
No, as long as
Let me
everyone
go
can
ahead.
read
So
the,
anyone who proctors needs to have the training, but if someone doesn't proctor, just running reports, etc., don't need to. So Robin says the Texas style table 11 and 12 training is to be a test
Mhm.
administrator for the table 11, 12 online, not to be a remote test proctor. So the TA training is only the first step. So hopefully and then Crystal says this training can satisfy the initial training and refresher, correct? Initial training, yes.
Yes, it can. And it could be a refresher too, because I don't know what programs we're doing before about online, honestly, because we didn't have this training. I'm hoping people were going to the DRC website and doing that training, but that training is very, very, very general. So, but that was allowable because that was all that was available. So yes, this could count as a refresher, but this is really not, the purpose of this is not to be a refresher. It's really for new staff that might need the training, and you don't have a trainer, or you're not able to train your own staff because you don't have a trainer, or you just have maybe one person, and so it would be easier for them to do this.
Okay, Tracy, one more
Okay,
clarification. So
yes.
Sandra says, to clarify, does this mean if we have our own TOT and do online table administrator training for our program, we only have to do 3.5 hours instead of 6?
You need a minimum of 3 for the TABE online. Now, minimum of 3, we did the 6-hour because it was paper-based. That's what we did, and that's all that we had. So now online can be for 3. If it were me at a local program, I would add time to have some practice time or shadowing time or something, because just going through it doesn't make someone comfortable being a test administrator, honestly. But you learn all the steps to do it. So yes, in answer to your question, Sandy, I would say yes.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and
Okay. Yes.
go ahead and move forward.
Well, I'm glad we had this discussion. It's
Yeah,
been very
there's
fruitful.
quite a few questions for clarification. All right. Thank
Okay,
you,
so
everybody.
the next one, okay, we're doing a tier 1. We're doing CASAS modules 1 through 4 test administrator training as a tier 1 for the same reason, basically, to offer programs that might have new teachers, new staff, that don't have trainers, or you just hired 1 or 2 people, and this would be a more cost-effective way to train them to administer the CASAS modules of the test. And again, this is the same process. You go through the training to be a test administrator, then you do remote proctoring training later. It's a 2-step process. I call it the Texas 2-step. So we're doing all 4 modules in one 6-hour time frame, although I know if you look at the times, it's not 6 hours. We're doing lunch on both days to give a break in there. And again, the same kind of things. I know TOT is on there, or you took it off, Olga. You're so wonderful. PD coordinators will need to assign. Again, consortiums, please get together and decide on who might want to attend. And again, if you've got a CASAS trainer on staff and you hired 5 people, then we would recommend, I would say you should train your staff. But, if you hired 1 person, this would be something that would be helpful to your program to have them go through this. So they would be a test administrator and be able to administer the test after this training. We're doing all 4 modules, and this is our Texas style version where we have a little more hands-on practice than the previous modules that were done by CASAS. They know we did this. This is what they're blessing. So the registration details will come out soon on this as well, probably Monday. Krista, get ready for trips. They're coming. So any questions about this? Okay, so Morrow says, do participants take both days? We're going to recommend, we're going to do it in a 6-hour block. So it's going to be 6 hours. We want them both days. Okay. We decided, when you do it locally, trainers can choose which modules to do based on what the program needs are. Statewide, we had, I don't know, a couple hours of discussion, believe it or not, on the best way to do this training statewide, because some programs are doing paper still, and sometimes paper is a backup, and other programs aren't, and there's just so many factors. We decided to go ahead and do it in one 6-hour block. We feel like all the information is useful. Module 1 is mandatory. It's that introduction to implementation. Module 2 is e-tests. Module 3 we've shortened to 45 minutes. It's paper tests, but it still is useful because I know Jan Wisnot was telling me she sat through these trainings multiple times, and it really took her hearing it over and over and over again to understand all the differences with CASAS and how that works. So it doesn't hurt to hear some of this again. And Module 4 is about running reports. But again, you learn about CASAS, how different they are from TABE and BEST and that kind of thing. So we feel like it strengthens your knowledge if you go through the whole thing. But that was the easiest way for us to do it statewide. I'll be honest, that was a big point of discussion. So, any questions? Good questions, y'all. Great discussion. I know we don't normally do these Tier 1 trainings. Yes, we want them to do both days. Okay. Any other questions?
Okay, I think that's it. So right now we have a break time in terms of question and answer. So if you have any other questions for Tracy, put them in the chat.
I'll put my email in there too.
Okay.
Mine and Robin, and you can always email us because we don't want to create confusion, but please know that you can reach out to us anytime.
Thank you, Tracy. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move on to the PD portal announcements, and we're going to get started with Laura. Katie.
Howdy, everyone. Good afternoon. We have a couple of webinars that we published this month. Those include Building an Engaging Remote Classroom, keep them coming back, Tech and Tell regarding Microsoft accessibility, Tech and Tell using OERs with adult learners, Teacher Tuesday participating in the 2020 election, and WhatsApp as an instructional platform. Then we have our 2 webinars that we just published that for our group that are in cohort 2 of the LEA, ALEA and ILEA. This webinar originally took place on September 30th, but all of these are now available in the PD portal. All right. And I just wanted to take a second to thank everyone who responded with your program feedback on the active user reports. I know this is an extremely busy time for all of us, so the time that you put forth is extremely appreciated. We deactivated hundreds of accounts that had not been logged into since January 1st of 2020. So you have a staff member who cannot log in, their account may be inactive. A good rule of thumb is to have your staff log in every 2 to 3 months just to keep their account active, and also to check out any of the new training since we're constantly adding to our collection. So we are still actually missing feedback from 2 programs, which is still pretty good considering the amount of programs that I emailed. So those 2 programs out there, feel free to send us your feedback. And thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Katie. Laura?
Hi, everyone. I'm sure everyone has heard this announcement already, either via listserv or one of the webinars, but all of the attendance for Fall Institute has been processed and certificates of completion are available in the PD portal. All sessions have also been added to Teams. I think someone is going to touch on that a little bit more in a second. But I wanted to say, if you are missing a certificate, or if you have a staff member who's missing a certificate, or the time on it does not match up, you attended the full thing, but you only got 3/4 of an hour of PD credit, something like that, go ahead and just send an email directly to me. I'm kind of cross-checking that stuff on the back end, and fortunately, there has not been as much as I anticipated. We used a whole new system this year, guys. As a whole, attendance seems to be pretty good, and certificates were awarded to the folks who needed them. But if there is a snag or a mistake, just reach out to me. I'll look into it and I'll get it taken care of for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. And her email has been placed in the chat for you to pick that up. All right, let's get moving on with Teams announcements. So we're going to get started with our first announcement for Teams. It's the Teams Release 5.3 webinar is going to be held on Friday, October 16th at 10 a.m. Central. And our trainer is going to be Mahalia Baldini. So registration is now available in the PD portal. And the webinar is information only and no PD credit will be awarded. So Teams Release 5.3, Friday, October 16th. Register in the PD portal, no credit. So thank you. And we're going to go ahead and move to Tracy.
Okay, I'm back. I'll try not to be so confusing this time. Okay, we had this slide last time. I just wanted to mention it again because if you had any staff that attended COABE, please send the conference sessions that your consortium or your staff attended, compile the information into that conference sheet and send to your PD specialist. And some events are in there already. We don't put them all in because there's so many and not everybody went to that conference. But I just want to make the note that the sessions are available, as it says at the bottom, for 6 months. So there's a 6-month time frame on those sessions. So the end dates will reflect that. So next slide. So we wanted to let y'all know, I know we sent out a listserv announcement, but I just wanted to put a visual here. All of the TDBC Fall Institute sessions have been put in. I see by that screenshot, I see several of you have been attaching staff to them, so that's great. And I just want to make a plea, if you are doing data entry or someone else is doing it for PD, no one should be local programs should not be entering any PD events under the TDBC training provider. And sometimes when I go in there to enter things, I'll see that somebody did that somewhere. And once staff are attached to an event, it's hard we can't delete the event. And sometimes I have gone to PD coordinators and asked if there's like one person in there, if they would, delete someone out so I could have delete the event so we could put it where it belongs, like under your local programs, which is statewide, or sometimes it's a state conference, but pretty much we enter TWC, TCAL, and state conference events that are statewide. So I just am making another plea. I know I say this every month. Please, please, please share this with anyone who does data entry, because it does get confusing in there. People don't know which events are the right ones to attach staff to, and we try to minimize that confusion. But they're in there, so I'm glad y'all have found them. And if If you have any questions, let us know. And that brings you to the Q&A.
Questions? Any questions? We are here. And we have about 10 minutes left.
I have a question. I don't know if
Okay.
it's appropriate for this time, but
Okay.
that would be me. For Taylor this year, we're looking at virtual conferences, so I don't know. So kind of, it's not my plug necessarily, but Taylor is scheduled, for the 10th through the 13th, if you count the pre-conference. And so if somebody could just give me information on who I could talk to, because we do the app and we're looking at Cvent, which I know you all just did for the latest conference that you had. So if somebody could just, somebody that actually used it could give me some input on what you liked and what you didn't like. I don't know. Like I say, I don't know if this is the best time, but
Denise,
is
that would be
PC.
Laura or Deborah.
Okay.
Laura or Deborah or Beth.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. And Laura's email is in the chat if you want to pick that up.
Awesome.
But
Thank you.
yes, thank you so much. And we're at PD coordinator time. So please type your questions in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. And we're going to hear a little bit from Krista.
Hello. I feel like we did a lot of the PD coordinator time during all the questions for Tracy, so I really appreciate that. And that's exactly what we want these webinars to be, is your time to ask questions, get clarification. So that was perfect. So if you have any other questions or thoughts, things that you want to talk about, just put them in the chat pod and we will get to it. One big thing that is happening that is going to start next November 12th, for our next PD coordinator webinar, is we are moving these to the PD portal. So you've gotten used to me sending out the link and the announcement the week of the PD portal, PD coordinator webinar. But from now on, you will need to go into the PD portal, register, and then launch through your transcript. Now, I will be sending out announcements and reminders for you to do that, but just kind of putting that on your radar that from now on you will be doing the webinars through the portal. And you can just see the list of the dates that are coming up. That's just going to help us with a lot of data and attendance and like that. When will it be available? Actually, they are all available in the portable now. In the portable? In the portal now. Everything is there. They're all listed. So you can go ahead and pre-register for all of them. All right. And then, so do we have any other questions or comments or concerns? Anything that anybody would like to talk about, ask about? We do appreciate all of your participation at the Fall Institute. We have taken all of the results for the content development suggestions you gave us, and we are working on a process to get some of that stuff in the works. So that we're very, very appreciative of that.
Thank you, Krista. So PD coordinators, everyone in this meeting, this is your time. I know you asked a lot of questions, like Krista said earlier. So thank you, Thelma. Thelma says we've all been full of super information today. So thank you for that. But if you have any questions, now is the time to ask. I hear someone typing. So last minute questions. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today, and we'll hang on for any other questions. Our next meeting is November 12th, so we will see you then.